All right, I'm going to tie in our first topic to something you said, Game of Thrones, and not Amelia Clark. So Vanity Fair, that, like I said at the beginning, they always put out a special every May for the movies. I mean, the movies used to come out in May, but now that they're coming out in December, they do it in May, pretty typically. So as expected, we said it here on the show when we were talking about kind of the timeline of when we'd see trailers and all that. Remember when David was on from Beyond the Blast Doors?
Yep.
We're talking about that. We all said May, Vanity Fair. Boom, here we are. It's available digitally. Gives a really good look visually. One of my favorite photographers. She is phenomenal. Annie Liebovitz does a lot of really amazing photography. She's the one who did the photographs, which I'll share and we'll take a look at in a moment for all this. Gives some great look at older characters, a couple brand new characters, like a new alien race as well, using some locals that they had on set. So it's pretty cool. They were there and using people that live there. One of them is Richard E. Grant. And Richard E. Grant is a really awesome actor, Australian actor, I believe, but he was on Game of Thrones. He was one of the Bravosi. I think it was earlier season, like 2016, like a few years back. He was on Doctor Who, some really cool stuff. And now he is with General Hawks. We'll see him in a minute. He's a really good actor. That's a good get. And he looks like a villain. So that's a good pick for them. He's been in a bunch of stuff. But there's some like really cool things that not just visually we saw, but we get to kind of learn about from this. Like we get to see the Knights of Ren. There was Naomi Aki. They teased it at Celebration. Her character, Jana. I'll call her Jana. And we just saw like a still image of her, and then we didn't know much about her. Now we have a picture of her riding this thing that kind of looks like Tauntaun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it looks kind of like, it's not that, but it's her and Finn there. So that looks pretty cool. And then we get to see, we knew that Carrie Russell was going to be in this. We didn't know what she was going to be or anything. And we get a really good look at her as this kind of like, it's purple and gold. It's kind of like a Rocketeer helmet almost, but she's a bounty hunter. And there's a couple theories around her. What she looks like to me is actually this bounty hunter from the prequels. The one, her name is Zam Wessel. Do you remember her? She's the one that Django hired to kill Padme.
Oh, yeah.
She was working. Django hired her on behalf of Newt Gunray, right? Who's going to kill Padme.
The one that gets shot in the neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shape-shifting. Yeah, the shapeshifter.
Right.
Yes.
Female bound. So Carrie Russell's character here looks a lot like her. A lot of people. So there was another scene in the teaser with a ship, and the ship is landing at this city on this planet, which is a new planet here. That looks like, and we'll show the still. It looks like kind of the background of the scenery for where Carrie Russell is, and that ship looks like the same ship from the flashback that that Rey had in The Force Awakens when she was talking about or remembering like when her parents left her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sold her off for drinking money and took off. So people put all that together and were like, well, how is this character somehow is it related to Rey? Like, you know, some people are even making that jump to like, oh, could this be Rey's mom? You know, I don't know. I just think it's probably like a common ship. And to me, because it's a bounty hunter, it's probably more likely that she meaning Carrie Russell's character Zorri is not going after Rey, but going after Lando, right? So for me, that makes more sense. And then we'll get to see. Well, actually, we'll just scroll through it. So I'll tell you the highlights. There was another part about Anthony Daniels. Anthony Daniels plays, of course, C-3PO. He's actually one of the only actors who's been in like all the movies, every single movie he's been in. He was talking, and he said that C-3PO does something like unexpected, like nobody's going to expect. I guess kind of out of character for him. So I want to ask you guys what you think that might be, and then I'll tell you what I think. So there's that, and then we'll see a picture of Luke. He looks alive. He looks very Force ghosty. So they actually were talking with J.J. Abrams about the actual the footage that they had for Carrie Fisher, for Princess Leia.
Mm.
And they were talking about like that, you know, how they're going to use the scenes. And JJ was like, you know, that it was very difficult. You know, he really wanted to make sure that he used them. What they did was they looked at the footage. They kind of wrote some scenes and some dialogue around it, so it like really made it like make sense and fluid for the actual plot. And they would do things like for this the scenes around those scenes that they had to add in to like really try to like match the lighting and match like, you know, the environment, so it just looked like super seamless all the way through it. And he was talking about Billy Lord, who plays Lieutenant Connix. Billy Lord is Carrie Fisher's daughter, right? She's been in this past couple movies. So he purposely wrote her out, thinking like, man, that would be tough, right? Your mom passed and everything. And then Billy Lord was like, no, actually, I want to do these. Like, put me in these scenes with my mother. So there's scenes where she's like posthumously talking to her mother, like they're touching. Well, it looks like they're actually touching each other and stuff. So it really piqued my interest, you know, if not just for those scenes, you know, just to see that. So it sounds like they really took a lot of like care and attention with that and understand like, you know, the delicate nature of adding Carrie Fisher in, you know. I remember they were saying they absolutely do not want to do anything whatsoever with like CGI or anything like that. You know, they already did that with like Rogue One and stuff, but that was it, you know. So this looks like the desert. When we see the teaser, when there's that TIE that's bearing down on her and she does the backflip, right? That's this whole planet.
Little fighter. It's a wee little fighter.
Yeah. So that looks pretty cool. That's Jordan, and they actually went there. So they were like, you know, and actually they would go there and then they would still set up a green screen. And then people were like, what that? Why are you doing? Like, what's the point of that? And the whole idea of that is you have the green screen, but then you're still interacting with the environment. Like the sand still blowing on the people and the trees, and it's making like the imperfections and stuff like that. It makes it that much more real, right? So that's why they wanted to do that, even with the green screen. So check this out. See these guys? These are the Knights of Ren.
Bucket heads.
Where they've been hiding.
Yeah.
Do they sing songs?
I think they do.
Like a band. Metal band.
We are the Knights of Ren. The Knights of Ren.
Like Monty Python.
Yeah, that's pretty much what always gets popped into my head. So
we are the Knights who say Ren. And they all have one leg.
Ren?
No, they look pretty cool. Right? Especially the guy on the left there with the gun arm.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's your first like actual look and really confirmation that official confirmation that the Knights of Ren. Okay, so here we have this is from the scene you saw it in the trailer when you had Poe and Rey and Chewie, Theepio. They were on this like skiff and they were like being chased by like jetpack troopers, right? That's that.
Cool.
So there you go. So this is the whole thing with 3PO. Anthony Daniels was talking about something being unexpected. Like, what could that be? And I'll tell you what I think. So a while back, there was actually a leaked poster, quote unquote leaked poster. And it showed a lot of things, and people said it was fake, like Mark Hamill and misdirected, like, oh, it's probably just fan art. But it had Claude on there, which is that like slug alien thing. It had the Knights of Ren, which look just like the Knights of Ren that we saw. If you look at that, they look the same. Had a bunch of other things. It had Zorri in it on the side. I was like, who is that? And then it had 3PO with Chewie's bowcaster. I don't know if you remember that. You can see the bowcaster here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chewbacca's weapon. So I think the unexpected thing, it'll be really out of character, is for 3PO to pick that up and go Rambo on some like shock troopers or something, you know, like to see 3PO shooting, completely unexpected. So that's my theory on that. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. For the first time, you know, that he actually consciously chooses to be heroic. That's how it would be.
He's such a coward.
Unexpected for him.
Yeah, he likes to run. Then we're talking about Peter Mayhew, of course, and Jonas Sotamo, who's him now, and like he had to do this whole class with Peter Mayhew and like learn the mannerisms, and like Peter Mayhew, like for every mannerism of Chewie, there was a reason behind why he moved that way, and there was like a certain art form to it because basically it was him acting but without like using words. So it was like that old style of silent acting. Yeah, so he had to do all his emoting and interacting or whatever, anything on a noise, and then just motioning. We get to see Kylo and Rey duking it out. Looks like they're gonna go to blows again, and that's all wet. So I'm thinking this might be inside of the crashed Death Star. That's my thing. Like I see water and stuff, and that's where my mind goes. One that I really wanted to show you. This one's cool too. Obviously, that's on the ship.
Yep.
Boom, bada boom. Lando looking very Lando with his same clothes that he wore in the 70s.
All right.
And it's Colt 45.
Yeah. So these are new alien species. There's going to be a few new planets and stuff. And what's really cool is they had the set there in Jordan, but they actually used like locals from the area on the set, hired them, so that's really cool that they would do something like that. Jordanian locals, see, play the Aki Aki.
That's a good idea.
Right. Obviously, John Williams composing. There we go. This is what I want to show you. This come up. You got obviously your little droid, bunch of fire, and Luke there. Tell me he does, and he's got a glove, so you can't really tell right there. See, he's got a glove on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, would a Force Ghost need to wear a glove?
No.
I don't know. Is that him? Is he back? Is he not? Interesting.
I wonder if that's a flashback to the destruction of the temple.
Yeah, this probably. I mean, it very likely could be.
With the rise of Skywalker, so
yeah,
he'll just come back from the dead.
Like a phoenix from the ashes.